Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome to the community conversation. This is a hujjat initiative. In this regular conversation with individuals, we will explore their struggle, achievements, courage and disappointment that shaped and guided their faith, family and community. Today we have a well-known cricket personality from our community from Tanzania. He was among the most well-known cricketing inspirational of our time in late 1960s, 70s and 80s. I remember it well because I used to go and watch him play in Dar es Salaam. He is with us today to share his life journey and experiences. His Al-Haj Bashirbhai Tejani. Welcome, Bashirbhai.
Thank you.
Bashirbhai was born in Zanzibar in 1946. After Zanzibar revolution in 1964, he moved to Dar es Salaam. Lack of economic prospect meant that he had to move to Mtwara. His passion was cricket, and his life and cricket remained inseparably intertwined until early 1990s, during which time he played for Tanzania National Cricket Team and also captained the team as well. After retiring from active cricket at the national level, he became the chair of Dar es Salaam Ithna-Asheri Union. It is during his tenure as a chair that he met with a tragic car accident in 1995 or 96? 1995, during the journey to Mombasa, where he was attending the Africa Federation meeting. By the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he survived the accident. Throughout his cricketing flair, he inspired others in the family to also develop passion for cricket. Cricket then ran in the family. His Marhum brother Ebrahim played for Tanzania as Wicket-Keeper Batsman. His other brother Hasnain played for Tanzania in late 80s and early 1990s. His son Sajjad played for Tanzania as Wicket-Keeper Batsman in 1995 and 1996. We will share all these in our conversation. Welcome, Bashirbhai.
Thank you.
So what are you doing now? How are you keeping, first of all?
I'm keeping well, alhamdulillah.
Where are you based now?
I'm based in Arusha.
Arusha. Why Arusha?
Well, it was a choice between Dar es Salaam and Arusha. So actually I moved to Arusha because my wife's parents were there. And my wife is a daughter of Marhum Ebrahim by Sharif Dawji.
All right, okay. Now he was a very well-known personality in our community.
Oh,
do you remember your father-in-law?
Unfortunately, I attended his funeral.
Right.
When even
this in Zanzibar,
when even the Sultan attended, but I never met him.
You never met him?
I never met him. Although I married his daughter, but I never met him.
What about at the marriage time?
No, he died in 1964.
Oh, so you got married afterwards?
I got married in 1971.
All right, okay. So what was talk to us about what you know of him as a personality.
I was very young, but I know him as a leader, and the inspiration and the changes he's brought in, especially in Madagascar and reunion, is amazing.
Right. Okay.
I mean, it wasn't easy, the community down there. We were in East Africa, were known.
Yeah.
But if you go beyond that, and as a leader, since I had not met him, but he was a very, very good friend of my father. Very close friend.
Now, I know I met your dad, Abbasbhai. Abbas. I used to... in Dar es Salaam, they used to have a baraza at night time, and my marafua, my uncle, Hasnari Virji, he had a drink shop in Dar es Salaam, Naeem's, and they used to all meet there, and they used to sort of talk about community and what can be done, and they used to do a lot of welfare work at the time. And he sadly passed away as well. When was that?
My father?
Yeah.
1992. But when you mentioned about Hassan Ali and with Anwar Merali, they were the one who were the founder of the Ibrahim Haji dispensary in Dar es Salaam.
Right, yeah. Well, you meant the medical mission, wasn't it? Medical mission, yeah. So, how do you pass your time as a retiree now in Arusha?
Well, that's a good question because I don't have much to do, but with the technology at the moment, I do assist my son Sajjad here as an auditor. He sends me sometimes some work to keep me busy, just to keep me busy.
That's it. That's important, isn't it?
Yeah, otherwise you get depressed.
Yeah, definitely.
And then, afternoon you go and play golf.
You still play golf?
At the moment I've stopped because of my little bit of hip problem. It's going to be done, and I'll go back to golf.
So you fractured your hip, or you've got a muscular issue there?
You did mention about the accident. That's coming out of the age. I never expected that.
Oh, right. Okay.
So when they did the
that's
X-ray,
the after effect of
yes,
the accident. Yeah.
When they did the X-ray, and I said, but it is knee. He says, no, look at the X-ray. It is your hip, but you got to do certain physio and exercise. You might not need a surgery.
So you are at the moment doing physio?
Yes, but don't play golf because that's the movement which will hurt you.
Because when you do that,
when you move,
so
get it
hip,
done.
It comes from the hip, doesn't
Yes.
it? That power.
Yes. So when you get it done, then you could. But to avoid surgery, and the way they looked at the X-ray, and they said, not at the moment. If you have to do, it's going to be after 3 years.
Right. Okay.
So keep on doing the physio, and chances are that you may be able.
Now, talking about the golf, when did you start to play golf?
Well, I started playing golf in 1986, when I was in the peak of my cricket, absolutely peak. I was the captain.
1996.
86.
86.
When I was.
You were playing cricket as well.
Yes.
And golf.
And golf, and I started golf. Just sometimes it's a joke, but remember, all cricketers, when they finish, they become good golfers because of the movements. Anyhow, that's the time.
But in cricket, I mean, in cricket, the hand plays an important part.
No, it's the elbow.
Elbow.
You see, in cricket, you have got to bend your elbow.
Right.
In golf, you cannot bend the elbow. The moment you bend the elbow, you're going to divert the ball in somewhere else, in different direction.
That's what I used to do.
And you laugh at yourselves.
Yeah.
So and I realized that there are a lot of youngsters in the team, in the Union Sports Club team,
Right.
to give them the opportunity. Like you said, my son was there, and quite a number of these youngsters. And I was under a lot of pressure to continue playing, but I was still captain in Tanzania at that time.
Really?
When I gave up.
Yes. So what was your handicap then? The lowest handicap that you achieved?
5.
5.
Yes.
Not bad, eh?
I played 5. I played a Pro-Am. Now, what is a Pro-Am? Is you go into one of the international tournament where your partner is a professional and you are in his amateur. You've got to be approved. So I played Pro-Am in Zimbabwe with a professional from Dar es Salaam. But it was such a competition with so many you could not imagine even.
And you carried on playing golf after you retired from cricket.
Oh yes.
What pleasure golf gave you?
Golf is a discipline game. You see, in golf, you can never blame anyone except yourself. Either your shoes, blame the shoes. Your golf kit, your golf kit. And it really teaches you discipline.
And that
because it's a concentration game. And actually they say when you play golf you know only one person, and that's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You don't know anyone. You forget everyone there.
Were you inspired in many ways when you were sort of doing your rounds in golf, with nature around, birds squeaking? I mean,
oh yes, it's beautiful. I mean, if you look at one of the golf courses in Arusha, which is called a Kili Golf, and it's now becoming an international course, and you just got to visit there. You'll see the wonder. You'll see the wonder of the world.
Really?
One side you turn right and see Kilimanjaro. mountain, and the other is Mount Meru and the surrounding. And this golf club, this mini golf club, used to be our Tanzania National Estate, belonging to the Koja Shias nationalists.
Really?
And we sold it to the South Africans.
And they made a golf course.
How much did we sell it for? 1.5 million shillings.
At that time.
And today is what? 300 million shillings. It's a
beautiful golf course.
Beautiful golf course.
So you're a member of that now?
No, I'm not a member, and it's out of Arusha town. It's about 40-45 minutes drive.
Oh, okay. So you go there whenever you feel like playing and all that.
There are some lot of competitions there. Even our community had 3 competitions there.
Right, and you participated?
Oh yeah, participated. Quite a lot of youngsters. We imagine the amount of youngsters we have in Arusha who are golfers, young golfers.
So they do say that when you are tensed up, if you play golf, it relaxes you. But then it's also a very concentrative game, presumably because you are concentrating on your game, you forget your troubles.
Yeah, absolutely, you forget. And it's a discipline game, because when you go back home, you got to behave the way we behave on the golf course. It naturally comes. You don't have to be told.
Really?
It does come. It does come out.
So you continued to play golf until you were told not to play?
Yeah, until about 6-7 months ago.
Okay, Bashir, I now want to talk about your childhood. You were born in Zanzibar, 1946, I believe?
Yes.
So just after the war, you were born. And you did your schooling there?
I did my primary school, high school in Zanzibar.
Now, primary school where?
The school called ESM, which is
Ion something?
Ion Smith Madrasa School, which is very, very...
Why is it called Ion Smith Madrasa? Why Madrasa with Ion Smith attached?
I have no idea about that.
You don't know, okay.
So
that was your primary school?
Yeah.
Were you playing cricket in primary school?
That's where I started.
So how did all started your cricketing career?
On the streets.
On the streets? In Zanzibar?
Yes, on the street, on the narrow streets in Zanzibar.
And
then you just picked it up.
Then you just picked up a bat and you decided that you liked the game?
Liked the game, and you just, cricket was just, in Zanzibar, it's just like religion. So...
At that time?
Oh yes, absolutely.
And our community was much more interested in cricket?
Very, very interesting to mention here is if we just divert a bit and see the community in Zanzibar, we had 2 Jamaats.
Right.
Come to sports, cricket, volleyball.
1 Jamaat.
One Jamaat.
Really? There was no competition?
No, absolutely not. You could not get a wife from each other's Jamaat. But when it comes to sports, 1. It's exactly like Mombasa.
Right.
When you have Kabristan and that, but when it comes to cricket or volleyball or tennis,
1.
It's amazing what sports can do for the community.
Interesting, isn't it?
Interesting.
Yeah. So you started your cricket playing in the primary school.
Yeah.
And then what happened? You sort of went to secondary school, you still kept playing?
Oh yes, I kept on playing, and I kept on the school side. Very interesting is the principal, who was a British. Actually, in that King George VI school, it's called King George VI school. We had about, if I'm not mistaken, about 39 teachers.
Right.
There were 32 from Britain.
Right. 32 from Britain. Yes. Presumably all interested in cricket.
Almost all. And the principal, Mr. Davis, he was crazy about cricket. And because of cricket, would you believe, I have seen the letter. He offered me a scholarship into Oxford University.
Really? You were offered a scholarship in Oxford?
I did not even understand at that age that he called my father. My father said, no, he's not going. And he showed me a letter. There's the sponsorship to bring him up as a cricketer in Oxford University, in the UK.
So what was the reason why
Cricket.
father refused? Did you wanted to go? Or you did not have any idea what
I
was
did not have
happening?
any idea what was it about, although he tried to explain to me, but I was talking to a principal. So I was talking to a person, and I just could not, if I had to understand what it is, I would have been there the next day. But he was there and he had already made contacts and even showed these papers to my father.
So maybe maslahat-e-ilahi.
Yeah, you never know.
Okay.
You never know.
So now you got interested, presumably in the secondary school, you were playing cricket with other schools, and how were you performing at that time?
The schools were being invited to play other teams. The school team was not in the league or in the knockout tournament. There was a community team, the Ithna-Asheri Union at that time, and but schools. Whenever you are there at school, there's a lot of encouragement from school because in the team there were 4 teachers who were playing.
So those 4 adults.
They
So you had to sort of keep up with this adult game, presumably.
Yes. And they were all geography teacher, history teacher. And they used to insist that we want to play. And whenever we used to invite teams to come and play at our school, they would be there.
So Bashirbhai, what about some inspirational cricketers at your time, in your time, presumably in the 50s and early 60s, that you can remember from the community, our own community? Can you name some of them if you remember any?
Well, the one.
Or who influenced you?
Yeah, the major one who influenced me was my cousin Bashir Tejani.
All right, he was cricketer.
He was a cricketer. He was a Zanzibar tennis champion.
Oh, really?
But
Okay.
on cricket, he was the one who encouraged me. And when I said that I was the youngest player in Zanzibar to play at the age of 15 years and 1 month, if I can imagine now that age. And he was the one who even sponsored me to travel to Dar, and then we were playing in one team
With your uncle?
with my cousin.
Yeah, cousin, sorry, yeah.
It came to the stage when he was playing in the same team as I was playing in the.
What was it like, at age 15, to represent a club, traveling to Dar es Salaam?
Not a club, Doctor. Presently a nation. I represented Zanzibar 11.
Oh, Zanzibar.
And when I went down there.
What was it like? Representing Zanzibar.
When I was opening the bat.
You were opener?
When I went to play, the 2 fast bowlers of Tanganyika, Dar es Salaam, they refused to bowl to me. They said, he's too young, we can get injured.
Who were they?
They were quick bowlers.
Yeah, who were they? What was his name?
Albert Fernandez and John Solanke.
Oh, I remember them. They used to be very fast. Well, fast bowlers.
Yeah, John Solanke was a neighbor in there. He was staying opposite Mayflower.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And they were quick.
He eventually came here, didn't he, John Solanke?
Yes, he came here and played for Glamorgan and he passed away here.
He passed away, yeah.
Well, Albert Fernandez passed away in Canada.
In Canada.
But then he eventually became our cricket coach when we traveled to Nigeria.
Really? Okay. So at age 15, you represent Zanzibar and used to travel to... What was traveling like? Was it by ship or by air? Or
We flew by East African Airways, Dakota.
Took you 15 minutes to...
And you know how much he paid? My cousin Bakar, how much he paid? 12 shillings return.
At that time?
12 shillings return.
Yeah, but
which today should be about 300,000-400,000 shillings.
Yeah. But 12 shilling was something
at
that time.
Absolutely.
People's salary was 100 shilling, 200 shilling, 300 shilling, wasn't it?
Of course my father, but he says, no, I'm going to sponsor him all around.
Oh, he sponsored you?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So now, 1964 Zanzibar Revolution came. What was what described to me? Were you in Zanzibar at that time?
Yes, I was, and we were staying in an area where we suddenly heard these guns in the morning and all, and we were removed from the house. But I would like not to mention, because this could be a very sensitive issue. And if somebody hears this, I could get into trouble. Let me tell you one thing. When I moved to Dar, I had a correspondent from BBC. I don't know how he came to know my name and all, and he came to me to interview me of what happened in the camp. What happened in the camp is that suddenly somebody comes and calls me and he says, the Red Cross have brought in some food and we want you to take charge. I said, I can't take charge alone, we got so much. So I pointed to 3 people. Before we offload it, everything was gone. Now let me give you another example. Is at night, by 11, 12 o'clock, they would cook, big sufriyas, 4 or 5. People were so hungry and all. Before it is boiled, they put the hands, and all those blisters here.
Really?
Another one is when they released us, they took away the ladies to our mosque. The mosque had prepared for us, and we had to walk a long way. We did not know where they were taking the ladies. So it's a bit sensitive.
Right.
Now, I even refuse to speak to these BBC guys. This is it's political, and I may get into problems.
Right. Okay.
But it was very nasty. It's what I saw was very, very nasty.
Okay, and you kept it yourself?
Yeah, and we could talk off.
Right, okay. But Bashirbhai, then in that case, what happened afterwards, after Zanzibar Revolution? You were still in Zanzibar, or you then moved from Zanzibar?
We were the first 3 families to move.
From Zanzibar to Dar es Salaam?
The first 3.
That was in
1964.
64.
Then I decided that, okay, I did not take the offer to come down here in the UK. And there was a choice between me and my brother Ebrahim. That Ebrahim wanted to go to Aligarh, and the Federation were offering him a scholarship. So it was between him and me. Either I go or he go. So I said, let him go. I'll go and work. Not matured yet. So I came to Dar es Salaam. I wasn't, another sensitive issue. I couldn't get a job, so I moved to Mtwara.
Now because we'll go on to Mtwara.
Yeah.
But I just want to have a sense of community. In 1964, you moved out. Now, prior to Zanzibar Revolution, what was the community life like in Zanzibar? Was it a very happy time for you in Zanzibar before the revolution?
Oh, yes.
And you were playing cricket, and the community life was part and parcel of your life, presumably.
Not only cricket, football, volleyball, etc. And we were in a majority, and we had all the sayings. Let me give you one example which will give you the answer. Is when the month of Ramadan, when the sighting of the moon for the Eid, the Sultan would not declare until we tell him. And although they're there from the community, they would say the moon is sighted. He says no. They will call our representatives. What do you say? No. Don't. Those they used to call mzinga. Fire it out. 7. The moon is sighted. No, don't do it until these people approve. If you don't, they will not do it.
So that influential we were.
We were very influential. I mean, job-wise, I was young, but you see, job-wise, our people had very good jobs, good businesses.
And influential politically as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so now you went to Dar es Salaam, and economically you could not get a job and presumably survive economically. So you had to go to Mtwara. Where is Mtwara in
It's in south. Why did I go to Mtwara? Because my cousin was there, Yusuf Somji.
Oh.
He was working for an oil company.
Yusuf Somji.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, come down.
Was he a tennis player at that
Yes.
time? Yeah, right, okay.
And he's playing tennis until now. He's 80 plus.
He's now where?
He's in Orlando.
In Orlando. You still in touch with him?
Yes, and he's very active.
Very active.
You'll be surprised.
I met him, Yusufbhai, a year ago. Suddenly he said, Sultan.
You'll be surprised how active he is.
Yeah, he's still
At
active.
that age.
Right,
Oh my,
okay.
my. So I went there and he got me a job, but
Yeah.
To walk about 8 kilometers.
What?
Walk.
To work?
I was working with a contractor here.
You used to walk
8 kilometers and 8 kilometers back, and I'm earning 150 shillings.
How much?
150. And I used to send
No, 300. 300 or 100?
150, oh, 350.
Right, 350, yeah.
And I used to send about 150 to 200 shillings to Zanzibar, to my
Why?
parents.
To your parents?
They were there.
All right. You were not married, of course, at that
No,
time.
no.
Yeah. So you used to survive in that 150 shillings.
It was okay. It was okay.
So how long did you, so your cricketing career, then what happened to your cricketing
Now,
career?
Mtwara had 2 teams,
Right.
cricket teams, and cricket fanatic, you know, the way I was, and used to play, and we used to travel to Lindi. Now, Lindi had about 4 teams, which is unusual. So we
And
used
Lindi was how many miles away?
it's about 50 kilometers,
So basically an hour's drive.
about an hour's drive. Yeah.
Okay.
So we used to go and play there, or they come and play away, home and away. And our team, we had our team, the school team, the Hindus team. And so they said, why don't you come to Lindi and play for us? We get you a job.
Oh, so cricketing
Yes,
assured you a job in Lindi.
absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I got a beautiful job there, good accommodation, and I was playing cricket.
What was it
for
like
them.
in Lindi?
Oh, it's beautiful. A very, very, very large community.
Of our own?
Very disciplined community, and we had people like Rajpur, who was the chairman,
Yeah.
and
Anwar Bhai Rajpur?
his father.
His father, okay.
They were in Masasi,
Yeah.
which is again further away.
I've been to Masasi.
Oh, yeah.
At that time there was no electricity. You know, there was just you used to light a lamp,
Yes,
and but very natural.
absolutely, absolutely.
Mountains around. Yeah.
It was very good community. All these functions, and we were holding there.
Mm.
And then again, cricket got me into Dar es Salaam through Marhum Sadiq Somji.
Sadiq Somji.
Yeah.
So what happened?
So he was working for a company called Dalgeti.
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 Yeah, that's right.
And he
What
got
was it, Dalgeti? What was the company? What was the company doing? Dalgeti.
they were marketing dairy products and
That's right.
wines
Yeah. Milk and all that. Yeah.
and all. So he got me a job there and to come and play cricket there again. So I moved to Dar.
So it was cricket which pulled
Again,
and gave you
back to Dar,
prospects. Yeah.
back to Dar es Salaam. And I continued there.
So what was the year at that time?
Oh.
19? 64? No, 66, 67?
About 65, 66, yeah. About
Right.
65 and 66, yeah.
So a couple of years you took out in Mtwara and Lindi, and then Dar es Salaam.
No, not couple. I mean, I was in Mtwara Lindi for about 13 months.
Right. And then
Moved down
Moved to
here
Dar es
and
Salaam.
then continued here. And it happened that in Dalgeti, when it was nationalized, so I was transferred to another food company who manager, the director of some United Kingdom, so he'd come to pay a visit. And they were also, he was a director also at the Leyland Paints company. So I said, why don't you move there
where?
to Leyland Paints?
Right.
So that's why my life came in. 31 years there
In there, eh?
in the paint company, from a sales to the manager, until managing director. I just could not be the chairman. You know who was the chairman? Manu Chandaria.
Who?
Manu Chandaria
Yeah.
was my chairman.
What was he? is he famous for something?
Oh, Manubhai, he's very famous.
As what?
Oh, they're running Comcraft in the UK.
Right.
And,
so he was a very powerful businessman?
Very powerful, until today.
Until
very
today.
highly respected, even in the political field in Kenya.
Ah, right, okay.
So, until the company was sold, and then I retired. Not retired actually. Tried to do things on my own.
So now let's come back to, so in Dar es Salaam now, how did you sort of develop your cricketing career in Dar es Salaam? So you used to play club cricket and you were recognized, and just give us a sense of how you then became a Tanzanian, a captain representing or leading Tanzanian cricket team.
You see, those who migrated from Zanzibar came into Dar es Salaam, all got into our community team, B division.
B division.
But I was the only one who played for A.
Now A division means you were in Ithna-Asheri Union A, and you were playing all the other club
yes.
who were of that standard.
In the A division.
So we have people like Babu Chauhan, R.D. Patel, these people.
They were playing for different teams.
Yeah.
But we were playing them.
And they were eventually, you played with them as in a national team.
Oh yes, yes. So, and that's how it is. And you see, the A division to get into the team was not easy. I can just recall one incident when a bowler like Raza Shirali Marhum, he was bowling and I was in the slips. And I dropped the catch. And it was very important that we lost the match. And he had to be vice captain. I had to go to his house at night and plead, don't drop me in the next match.
Really? That competitive?
That competitive. And that's how I grew. And I grew and I grew and then...
so you were good at batsman or you were all-rounder?
No, I was a batsman, I was an opening bowler.
That's right, yeah. You were fast bowler, weren't you?
Not fast bowler.
But medium pace?
Not in the international standard. I mean, our fast bowling is not that high.
No, but at that time, I remember we used to come and watch you guys.
Oh yes, I used to open the bowling, yes.
And
number 5 batsman.
Opening bowler and number 5 batsman. So you're really, in a way, all-rounder.
Actually,
right?
number 4 batsman. Number 5, Mohammed Nattu would not agree anybody to play that.
Right. What was your friendship with Marhum Mohammed Nattu like?
Very interesting, because when we were in the primary school...
In Zanzibar?
Yes, we were coming, we were traveling to Dar es Salaam in Tanga to play for school, the ESM school. And he was a good cricketer, and he was also selected. But his parents would not allow him to travel.
All right, okay.
So I had to go to his parents and convince them that he will travel with me, he will stay me wherever it is, don't worry, and he will come back safely. And that's how it started building up. And then we were close companions for 50 years.
Really?
50 years. We used to talk to each other, and on the cricket field, I mean, you take this as a joke, you know, when the Union Sports Club would lose the 8th wicket, and say this, the finish. You say, you could wait for number 9 and 10 to come still. That's strong. Continuous 17, 18 years championship. It's not a joke. And very competitive cricket.
Right. Yeah, and at that time, they were very competitive clubs, if I remember rightly, in the late 60s, early 70s, 80s, until 80s.
Oh yes, I mean, amazing the crowd. The cricket would start at 9:30, and you get the elderly people already on the crowd at 9 o'clock.
Really? That sort of passionate about it. Yeah.
That's why I said, which you said, you better mention this later on. And I mean it, and I mean it. You want to get married? Be a cricketer. You want to get a job? Be a cricketer.
But at that time?
At that time. You want anything, be a cricketer. You are absolutely worshipped. And I mean it.
Really?
And when I said this, the seniors were laughing, and I mean it. It was so important. It was so, just nothing but cricket.
People enjoyed watching.
Absolutely.
So, talk to us about when you were given first of all, when you were chosen to represent Tanzania cricket team, what was your feeling like?
Oh, I was at the peak. Betting-wise.
So when was that? When you were selected for Tanzania?
It was 68 when we traveled to Zambia.
Now, there was another Ithna-Asheri, a couple of Ithna-Asheris. One was Nazir Bharwani, Marhum, and Chandu as well, Onali Chandu. They were prior to you.
No, Nazir was before me.
Before you, yeah.
I played with Nazir as a wicket-keeper once only, before he migrated to UK.
Yeah, that's right. So they were also quite prominent in their time, before you and Marhum Muhammad came in. And what about Onali Chandu?
Onali never played for the Ithna-Asheri team, never in his life.
He played for PWD or something like that?
He played for PWD and then played for Hindus.
Right.
But never played for us.
Right, but he played for Tanzania.
He played for Tanzania.
And you also played with him?
Yeah, played with him in Nigeria. We played with him in Nairobi. He played under my captainship.
Okay, now, so now you became, you were asked to play for Tanzania. What was your feeling at that time?
Oh yeah, that's the first time we traveled to Zambia. And
when you were told that you are going to play for, you're going to represent Tanzania, how did you feel?
Oh, it was a joyous occasion. And I remember to have taken the letter from the Tanzanian Cricket Association to my general manager. He said, "You're not going anywhere." I said, "What? With this?" He says, "No, you're not going anywhere. I'm not allowing you to leave for 2 weeks."
Okay. Was he joking or was he serious?
Then he was joking.
He was joking.
He would have given me a shock.
Right.
Then I played there, and we had a good tournament.
Do you remember anything exciting you did?
Not exciting, actually. The only time is my major one was at MCC, under quite a number of test cricketers from England who came to Dar es Salaam.
Yeah.
And I played them, and I captained the side. And there was we and Mohammed again. We had a 100 runs partnership, which is very important because we were 16 for 4.
16 for 4, your
and
team?
We were going 30 runs out all.
And you and Mohammed...
we did it up to 170, 180 runs.
So 100 runs partnership,
yes.
Yeah.
That's, building up all these relations with Mohammed continued. And then we went to Nairobi where we won the quadrangular. And I was the only Ithna-Asheri in the team.
Really? Yes. Were you captaining or not?
No.
Yeah.
We Kenya, Uganda, Zambia, we won the tournament for the first time until Mohammed Natu won it again. Years back. When he became the captain.
So Mohammed also became captain.
Oh,
so
yes.
You became captain and Mohammed became two Ithna-Asheris who captained Tanzania cricket team. Was there any other Ithna-Asheris who captained Tanzania team?
No. Yes, Mahmoud Nur Mohammed.
Mahmoud Nur Mohammed.
The one in
Portsmouth.
Yes,
he
Portsmouth, was my captain in Nigeria.
So what was his standard of cricket like?
He was a very good player, but I think he's a prominent sportsman. Let's try and remember what he achieved in badminton.
Really?
He won the East African
Badminton Championship.
Yes. And I was talking to Sajjad. He says, I remember him coming to Uganda and he won the Ugandan Open.
So he was very good.
Oh, he was very good in badminton. very good man. But then he was good in cricket.
As well.
And he captained the Tanzanian team too, to Nigeria, where we were about, that team we were 5 nationals.
5 nationals, yeah. So, in your captaining career, Tanzania, do you sort of remember anything, any exciting game that you felt that you want to share with us?
Not really. I mean, how I was appointed as a captain is suddenly I was called in the meeting of the Tanzanian Cricket Association. The chairman, I don't know if you know him, was Hamza Kasongo. And they told me, we want you to captain the side. And so what side? Tanzanian side. And we were going to Nairobi to play the Pentangular now. Malawi had come in also. I could not breathe for some times. He says, could you...
Excitement or what?
Just too excited. And I say, then he tells me, could you name your team?
So you chose your team?
I chose my team, I presented the team, and captain asked me a question, why this man? Why this person? Now, this is all due to experience when you're international. You got to have the wicket-keeper before you have the captain. You can do without a captain, you can't do without a wicket-keeper. So, all these presentations.
So you had to sort of explain yourself, yeah.
Explain, and there was on and off arguments, and 1 or 2 were changed, and I accepted.
Right, okay.
And
what was the team spirit like under you?
Oh, it was very good, and very cooperative. And the first thing we arrived in Nairobi is very interesting. We internationals were accommodated in Musafa Khana. The mosque in Musafa Khana, those old ones.
The old, yeah.
And at night, suddenly we get Mulaska coming up there.
To congratulate you?
To visit the team.
Right.
And he said, I know you're coming from Tanzania, and he gave us some funds to spend even.
Okay.
And then he wished us all the best. We were all shocked.
So,
and we were playing cards, as a joke. When Mullah is coming, we had to put it aside.
hid the cards away.
Oh yeah.
Now, so what was the financial backing from the state of Tanzania towards cricket? Was it?
Oh yes, it was very good. I mean, it was on club level. I mean, we would go. We would not be paid.
Yeah, but did they give you any finance? Did they give you any money?
No.
No.
Only you'd get your return air ticket.
Yeah.
They would.
They will pay for that.
They'll pay for that.
What about accommodation?
You get the accommodation.
Right. What about money, like salary or anything like that?
No, it wasn't
Nothing.
there.
So all that.
It's like the amateur team.
Right. Okay. So you didn't have that backing that you required to progress forward.
Yeah. It was the same with Kenya, Uganda team. It's the same like the facilities we would get. They would get the same thing.
Same, okay.
I mean, they would not be on payroll, or if you play, you're going to be paid this for one match, or whatever it is. So we were on the amateur level. I mean, the international level they do, yes.
Yeah, but the national level was still amateur level in that sense.
Absolutely.
So when the other team, international team, used to visit, like India team or England team, I understand that India team came in 1988, I take it, and led by Nawab of Pataudi.
Yes, they came after the tour of England.
Yeah. So, what was your rapport with Nawab of Pataudi or engineer? Farooq Engineer was a wicket-keeper, I think.
Yes.
He came.
Well, Farooq was actually, I would say, my guest. I mean, I was going around with him. I wasn't staying. He was staying with another one Parsi family. He was a Parsi, but he was moving around with me. And then Pataudi was there. He was very.
What were they like as personalities?
Oh yes, okay. They were a bit of there was some egoism, but they were all quite cooperative. And Pataudi was there when he was just engaged to Sharmila Tagore.
The actress.
And the actress was there.
Right.
And you could see the popularity.
Right. So now I want to sort of move forward to 1995. I think you gave up cricket by then.
Oh, yeah.
And you became the chairman of Ithna-Asheri Union.
Yeah.
Now, why did you become chairman of Ithna-Asheri Union? What was the drive there?
Well, I was the chairman for Union Sports Club, and you've got to remember that Ithna-Asheri Union was a very powerful body under the Jamaat.
Was it under the Jamaat?
It later became under the Jamaat, but it was a part of Jamaat, and Jamaat would rely on Ithna-Asheri Union because Ithna-Asheri Union were running the nursery school, the volunteers, and the ladies section, and etc. And it was a very powerful body.
Right.
But of course, we would, whenever the Jamaat would hold the meeting, they would call the representative, so they're all united together. But I was the chairman for 4 years, and then I gave it up.
So for 4 years, but now during that time, you went through a very tragic period.
Oh, yeah.
You were involved in. What was the mission? Why were you going to Mombasa?
We were going to Mombasa for this meeting, which I was, as a chairman, as a reciprocal from the Union of Mombasa.
Right.
They invited me, and I was, as a chairman, I was going to speak.
Okay.
So we were also with the Jamaat's team, and then we stopped over in Tanga. We had a parade, we had a lunch, and then we were on our way to Mombasa. That's where we met with this. That's a very tragic accident.
Yeah. Can you remember?
I can't remember until I heard your interview with Muhammad. And this is very interesting.
Bashirbhai.
Muhammad Bashirbhai never agreed to tell me until I heard him on an interview. Can you imagine what interview can do?
Yeah.
Until, believe you me, those who were there, they never agreed to tell me a word. What happened to me? What happened? What happened to the car? And when I heard the news and the interview, and it's the first time, it's Sajjad who heard it, immediately called me, says, don't make a mistake of not hearing this interview. Go on, go on, go on, and you will enjoy every moment of it. I got a shock. And would you believe what that moment, when I came to know that steel was, I never knew.
No.
I know I had 65 stitches.
Yes, yes. He described it so vividly.
And you know how many people came back to me? 23 people. Are you alive? Are you alive? What we heard, we can't believe it. And Dr. Sipten, I never knew. That's the first time I knew what happened. Everyone I'm asking, because I was unconscious for 9 days.
That's right. I didn't know. I really did not know.
We were taken to Mombasa. It was Sajjad Bawazir,
yes,
who made the airport open and got us into the hospital.
That's right.
But I never knew a word until I heard Muhammad. And when I heard Muhammad, I called him immediately. And I said, you ever for years, since 1995, you've not been telling me. Now, through Dr. Sipten, I've come to know what happened to me.
The whole community.
And 23 people called me or wrote to me.
But just shows how good our community is, you know.
You could imagine how Bashirbhai arranged the charter.
Yeah.
I mean, you had no...
The leadership, what they did at the time to...
And no mobile...
And the community.
And no mobile phones.
Yeah.
And the aircraft comes there, we don't know what is going on.
No.
In Texas. And then I'm in the hospital, and so many people like Marhum Naushad Merali and all these people visited you, and so many cricketers and families in Mombasa. I never knew what was going on. It was all my wife who was telling me.
Yeah.
Who came.
There's always a hand of destiny
Absolutely.
behind all these things. So we can only come to know retrospectively. And as you came to know retrospectively, that's how important, or what happened actually. Yeah. You know, I would like to, Sajjad had, your son,
Yes.
Sajjad had written to you personally, I think, a piece. And he shared it with me, and I just want to share that with you.
Okay.
Because I thought that was very moving. He writes, the next year, that is you, he turned 50 in March 1996. I wrote a letter to him describing his life like a batting innings of cricket. His innings started shaky with the World War II just finishing, and his innings was slow. Then the next 18 runs or so were good. This was the school days in ESM, King George and Zanzibar 11, until the revolution came, when scoring runs became difficult. Now he's describing your life, I think, here. After that, runs flowed. You're in Dar es Salaam now, playing cricket. This was when he played for Tanzania and won the Sportsman of the Year. Captain Tanzania, etc. As he was on 49, his catch was dropped. This when the accident happened. He survived and scored the runs to get his 50. Sayyid Nyanya, the staunch cricket supporter, shouted, "Bashir, 50!" And everybody stood up with a round of applause, and he raised his bat to acknowledge the crowd. The innings continue with ups and downs until April 2021, when the 50-run partnership was broken. This is when he lost his dear wife and our dearest mother. After this, to continue is very difficult and slow. We hope the innings continue until he can, God willing, reach 100. I do not want to press you, Dad, that is you, but would you like to share any inner thoughts and how this has shaped you subsequently, which you are now?
See, I never knew my son was a poet.
No, it's very moving. I think the way he has combined your life with cricket, you know, how passionate you were with cricket, but then you were a family man. And you know, your son is recognizing that here.
Well, you have to share between your sports and your family and your community. And
your wife Bashirbhai must have been a very good companion to you, always supporting you in your...
49 years and 11 months.
You remember 11 months, 49 years and 11 months.
And we traveled always together. Now, I get the feelings when I travel alone now. It's very tough.
It is tough, yeah.
I mean, for example, this time when you have to stop at Addis Ababa airport for 5 years, just looking at the wall.
For 5 hours?
Anyhow. This,
you had a companion who
absolutely.
you could talk to, yeah.
And I said, all right, Allah knows better. When you could tell the shaitan, what I know you don't know, so no arguments.
No, so you had, how many children you had?
2. My daughter, Saida, is Narush whom I stay with, because I was ordered not to stay alone.
Oh, so you're staying with your daughter now?
Staying with my daughter. She's married to Fayaz Dirani, and 3 children, all sons.
So you've got 3 grandchildren from Saida.
And one Hussein got married in Dubai 2 years ago.
Right.
The other one is 26, and the other one schooling 13 years.
Right. And then you have Sajjad here. Yeah.
And very coincidentally, my son Sajjad is the vice president of Stanmore.
Right.
My son-in-law Fayaz Dirani is vice president of Sajjad.
There you are. They're running the community well.
All in the community and all. And I would like you to share lastly, what is it about the community?
Yes. If you can combine, I'd like you to share your thoughts with about the community, as well as perhaps from your experience as a sportsman, what more a community can do as far as sports is concerned. If you can combine all that together and address the community and leadership as well.
You see, it is, we've got to get a lot of, as I was discussing with Siptan Alibai, we've got to get a lot of indoor games. I mean, the ladies are quite active. If you can imagine the number of people who are going to Dubai, it's 370 from Stanmore.
Really? 370?
The highest number.
Yeah.
Ladies. From Arusha, 60 ladies going to play table tennis, and we got to encourage that. And as I said earlier, the way the sports combine us, besides Zanzibar and Mombasa, and it's almost
it can be a healing thing.
It's almost a priority.
And it must be a priority to make sports a core thing now.
Yes, and the other thing is we are going to get is that we must remember that social media. The highest social media we've got is the Khoja National community. Let me explain to you. You take the Bohras community, the Hindus community, Khojas, Sikh community, Catholic, Protestants, right? Now, let us come to our Khoja community. Me and you, let us take our calendar, the calendar we use. If you go through the calendar, we are using the pulpit 280 times a year. Is it not a social media? Can we not take advantage of that social media and get into this new generation which is getting dangerous? 280 times.
We must use it very effectively.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And on the subjects of these youths and all, because it is getting very dangerous.
So what you're saying is that apart from sports, making it core and as a healing thing, the use of mimbar must be used effectively so that it can remove a lot of issues and challenges that we have within the community.
Absolutely. I mean, let me give you an example, which lectures you give at the Qabristan.
Yeah.
Right? Very effective. I follow it all. You have limited it in such a way that if you go beyond 20 or 25 minutes, nobody will listen to you.
Yeah, that's
scientifically they will.
Yeah.
But the way you're using and taking the time, and everybody's ears and eyes focusing on you and listening to you, because they're going to gain something there. You go above 20 minutes, you're gone.
Yeah, you're right actually, Bashirbhai, because scientifically they are saying that if you go beyond 12 and a half minutes, people are beginning to wander around. You have to capture their mind within 12 and a half minutes. Yeah. No, Bashirbhai, it was really, really superb to talk to you. You know, you are now the elder of our community as far as the sports is concerned, I think.
Well,
I don't think there is anyone else. So you have actually at least shared with us your journey of life and sports, and particularly cricket, and also gave us some gems in your time.
Well, yes, to come all the way here to London and be with Dr. Siptain, and you know, it was the influential things of that which made me come here. I usually come in summer.
Yeah.
Everybody I'm telling, say, are you crazy? You came in
Sajjad,
winter.
I actually, Shabibah, let me tell you this. In fact, we were going to have a panel discussion between the sports people. So talk about our sports, their life, and then the sports within the community to begin the discussion and move the sports forward. But we could not do it this time around. But inshallah, we are having a discussion on how to have a panel discussion within the community.
Yes, actually you had invited Nur Ali Nunu.
That's right. Yeah.
And he sent me a message that I cannot make it, and I wish you all the best.
Yeah.
I believe you're traveling, and I'm going to be back on 3rd of October. So I said, all right.
So inshallah, no, but so we are having a discussion at the moment. So let's see how far we can get to it. But anyway, thank you very much.
Now, before I would like you to take this since my son has been a poetic, maybe I also use the poet words also.
Yeah.
And I'd like to take this saying of mine
Right.
and tell the community and the youths.
Yeah.
Because somebody asked me a question. He didn't expect me what to say. He said, why do you love this community?
Why do you love this community? Yeah.
And why you want to defend them all the time?
Mm.
Dr. Septen, I would like you to use this word to the whole community and every single community youth.
Mm.
The reason is 3. This community registered my birth. This community registered my marriage. And this community, inshallah, registered my death. What more do you want?
Community is that meaningful to you?
Should be to anyone.
To everyone, yeah.
Yes, they've done the same to you. And
Yes,
they've done
of course.
to everyone.
They've registered my birth, registered my marriage, and inshallah they'll register my death.
And what more do you want? And how can you go astray with it?
Yes. Very simple formula.
Simple formula, beautiful, poetic. I learned from my son.
On that, again, I'll shake your hand. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much.
I think we have learned a lot from Bashirbhai in this interview, and I hope that you all enjoyed this particular formula that he gave us. So, registration of birth, registration of marriage, and registration of death as well. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Till we see you again next time, inshallah. Thank you very much.